You won't believe what just happened inside one of Nairobi's most controversial churches. A Sunday service turned into a full-blown Nyama Choma party. A government official called it blasphemy.
Leo nimekasirika sana na sijawahi kasirika kama vile nimekasirika. Ni kwa sababu ya mtu ambaye anaitwa Geoffrey Mosiria. Geoffrey Mosiria, umenikasirisha sana. Mimi sijui nini unanitafutia. Unaanza kusema nachomea nyama katika madhabahu surely.
And now, a furious pastor is threatening to curse him and demanding the governor to fire him immediately.
Kazi yako ni kutafuta mahali ambapo utapata fame. Usifikiri utapata fame na Pastor Kanyari. Tafadhali, Geoffrey Mosiria, katibu wa mazingira Nairobi. Wachana na mimi.
This is not a joke. This actually happened and the entire nation is watching. What you're about to witness is the most explosive church controversy Kenya has seen in years. And trust me, you need to hear every single word of this.
Ulisema sijui nachomea nyama katika madhabahu. Nilikuwa na equip washirika wangu. Mbona hamkuongea mazuri ile nafanyanga? Kila siku ni kunitafutia keserani. Mimi sijui ni bangi gani ambayo umevuta. Wachana na mimi Geoffrey Mosiria. Tafadhali, wachana na mimi. Na ningeomba mtu ambaye anaitwa Sakaja, toa huyo mtu katika ofisi yako.
Right now, across Kenya, millions of people are talking about one man, Pastor Victor Kanyari. And this isn't about his infamous 310 shilling miracle seed controversy from years ago. This time, the prophet has done something that has literally divided the entire nation down to the middle.
Content creator mtoe. Ameshindwa na kazi yake. Tafuta mtu kama Kanyari ambaye tutasaidiana na wewe tufanye kazi. Huyu mtu aende nyumbani. Na ukicheza Geoffrey nitakuombea. Na unajua laana zangu ukianza, ukitapata laana yangu mbaya sana. Nitakulaani. I will curse you. I tell you.
Some people are calling him a visionary, others are calling him a fraud, and one government official just called him out so hard that Kanyari fired back with threats that have left everyone shocked.
Huyu mtu aende nyumbani. Na ukicheza Geoffrey nitakuombea. Na unajua laana zangu ukianza, ukitapata laana yangu mbaya sana. Nitakulaani.
But here is where it even gets crazier. The pastor didn't just defend himself, he went full nuclear. He called for a government official to be removed from office, threatened to curse him, and claimed that his curses are so powerful, they are worse than anything you have ever seen. And wait until you see what happened next, because this story has layers upon layers that you need to understand. Imagine walking into a church expecting a normal Sunday service. You're dressed up in your best clothes, your Bible is in your hand, you're ready to worship, and then suddenly, the smell of roasting meat fills the air. Not just any meat, we're talking about full chunks of sizzling Nyama Choma being prepared right there on the altar. The prophet himself was dancing in the pulpit while his team grilled meat during the service. Videos of this unbelievable scene went viral instantly. Social media erupted. Kenyans on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram, and also on TikTok, were sharing these clips. Some were laughing, some were outraged, some were confused, but everyone had an opinion. The footage showed Pastor Kanyari in his element, celebrating, dancing, while the congregation watched as their Sunday service doubled as a barbecue party. But wait, there is more context that you need to understand. This wasn't just about roasting meat for fun. According to Pastor Kanyari, this was a part of what he called an empowerment drive. He claimed he was teaching his congregants about business, about entrepreneurship, about how to make money. And the church wasn't just grilling Nyama Choma. They were distributing small business tools, smoky trolleys, cooking grills, equipment that people could use to start their own businesses. Now, Mosiria is no stranger to the public attention. This is a man who has built his reputation on being tough, being outspoken, being very controversial. He is the official who has been all over social media, busting illegal dump sites, confronting changa sellers and calling out public officials who break traffic rules. He is known for not holding back, for speaking his mind and for going after anyone he believes is doing wrong. And when Mosiria saw the videos from Pastor Kanyari's roasting meat on the church altar, he didn't stay silent. He came out publicly and condemned the pastor's actions. He called it very inappropriate. He questioned why a man of God would turn the altar into a grilling station. He essentially said that what Kanyari was doing was so wrong, very wrong, completely unacceptable for a religious leader. Mosiria's criticism spread like wildfire. Remember, this isn't just any random person commenting on social media. This is a government official, someone with authority, someone with a platform, and someone whose words carry weight. When he spoke, people listened. His condemnation of Pastor Kanyari added fuel to already the raging fire that was going on the internet. The nation was now truly divided. On one side, you had people who agreed with Mosiria, people who felt that the church should be respected, that the altar is sacred, and that roasting meat during a Sunday service across a line that should never be crossed. These voices were loud, they were passionate, they were calling for accountability. But that's not all. Wait until you see what happened next, because Pastor Kanyari's response is going to blow your mind. When Pastor Kanyari heard about Geoffrey Mosiria's criticism, something inside him snapped. The prophet, known for his controversial statements, for his bold personality and never backing down, decided it was time to address this publicly. And let me tell you, what came out of his mouth shocked everyone. In an emotional, fiery, absolutely unhinged video response that has now gone viral across every social media platform, Pastor Kanyari let loose. His anger was palpable and his frustration was real. This wasn't calm, this wasn't measured. I am so angry, Pastor Kanyari began, his voice trembling with emotion, and I have never been angered like this. It is because of Mosiria. I do not know what you want from me. The prophet's word came out, one after another, building tension with every syllable. But he didn't stop there. This was just the beginning of Kanyari's questioning Mosiria's motive. You are saying that I am grilling meat on the altar. Why can't you concentrate on your work? Are you a content creator? Did you catch that? He called a government official a content creator. He essentially accused Mosiria of using this controversy to get attention, to get fame, and to build his own profile. Because that is what you do these days, Kanyari continued, his voice dripping with anger, looking for places you can't even get fame. Mosiria, please leave me alone. The desperation in his voice was clear, and this was a man who felt cornered, who felt like he was being unfairly targeted, and who wanted to know the whole situation and get away from it. But here is where things went from dramatic to absolutely explosive. Pastor Kanyari then tried to defend his actions. Why can't you talk about the good things I do? He asked. Every day you are all just looking for issues. I do not know what you have taken, but leave me alone. I would also plead with Sakaja to remove this man from his office, Kanyari has declared. Did you hear that? He directly called for Governor Sakaja to fire Geoffrey Mosiria, a pastor calling for a government official to be removed from his position. But Kanyari wasn't done yet. Look for someone like me so we can do meaningful work. The reactions were as divided as you could possibly imagine. On one side, you had Kenyan supporters rallying behind him, and these are people who see him as a revolutionary, as someone who's breaking traditional churches' boundaries, as someone who is trying to help with congregates in practical ways. One supporter commented, "Nabii, choma nyama kabisa, God is happy, showing people how to share with others. Watu hawapeani nyama, you are one in many." This perspective argued that what Kanyari was doing was actually good, that he was feeding people and that he was teaching them skills that were being practical about ministry in a way that traditional churches refused to do. But on the other side, the criticism was fierce. Many Kenyans, especially religious conservatives, were absolutely horrified. They saw what Kanyari did as the ultimate disrespect to God, to the church, to everything sacred. The altar is not a barbecue station, they cried. The pulpit is not a dance floor, and the church is not a business center. Religious leaders from other denominations have weighed in, with some calling Kanyari's actions blasphemous, sacrilegious, completely unacceptable. They argued that what he did crossed every line that should never be crossed in a house of worship. And this is not Christianity, they declared. This is entertainment. This is showmanship, and this is making a mockery out of the faith that people have built in God. So, there you have it, the full explosive story of how Sunday service turned into a national controversy, how a government official's criticism turned into a personal feud, and how a pastor's response has turned into a threat that has everyone talking. Pastor Victor Kanyari roasted Nyama Choma on his church's altar as part of what he called an empowerment drive. Geoffrey Mosiria, Nairobi's county's chief officer for environment, publicly condemned the action as inappropriate. Kanyari fired back with fury, demanding that Governor Sakaja remove Mosiria from office, calling him a content creator seeking fame, and threatening to curse him with what he claims are his powerful curses. The nation is now divided. Some see Kanyari as very revolutionary, but others are seeing him as a blasphemer making a mockery of the faith. Some see Mosiria as courageous official speaking the truth, while others are seeing him as someone overstepping his bounds and seeking attention. What happens next, nobody knows. Will this feud escalate? Will there be legal consequences? Will the government intervene? Will more religious leaders take sides? All we know is that Kenya is watching and social media is buzzing, and this story is far from over.